Hello everybody, and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. Today, we're going to be playing some more Final Fantasy XVI. So, let's see. Right now we're heading towards a place called Eastpool. This is going to be on our way to trying to get to the Phoenix Gate. On the way there, it looks like we have this side quest, so let's pick this up and continue on.
You there! Over here! Excuse me, I'll use that blade of yours. Curse my luck. I'm branded. No time to haggle with whoever holds your leash. Wait. That's the slumbering chocobo you're wearing. You and the Marthas, are you? Good. She won't begrudge me the use of you then. Not while there's wolves about. We tried dealing with them ourselves. Made out baked, think we might swoop in and slaughter the lot. But we didn't expect the pack to be quite so bloody big.
I expect the blight drove them here. They must have fled their homes for greener pastures.
Well, we'd hoped empty bellies might make them easy prey, but it made them mean instead. Martha's no fool, so she must see something in you. Do us a favor and get rid of them, will you?
All right. I suppose those wolves pose a threat to everyone.
Aye, that's what I'm talking about. I'd wager the greedy bastards are still over yonder, finishing off our bait. When you've seen to every last one of them, go and speak to my friend over the bridge. Bryce, his name is. He'll want to know if it's safe to come across. All right, off you go then.
Okay. Now I gotta say, so far I am really unimpressed with the side questing. It's a pretty big blemish so far when compared to the rest of this game, I feel like. They've been really, really bland. Maybe they'll get better, but even if they don't, I feel like I'm having a good enough time that it's not that big of a deal, so. But I did want to mention it, because yeah, they're really not very interesting so far. I always go a little too early, don't I?
Give them all you've got, boy. A little help. Keep your distance, boy. Not this time. A little help. My wounds, boy.
All right. We took some pretty big hits there. Not gonna lie.
Give them all you've
Not this time.
A little help! My... Don't let them get away! Give me fuck!
Okay, these guys getting involved is not my favorite thing in the world.
Garuda, lend me your strength! Torgal! Give them all you've got, boy! Keep your distance, boy. My wounds, boy. Torgal, a little help. My wounds, boy. My wounds, boy. That'll help.
Okay, that was just luck that we popped over that.
Don't let them get away.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting those two other guys to get involved. Okay, that's a dead end for now. Okay, now let's deal with this.
Look hungry, all right. Hungry and mean.
That's enough. Come on.
Gotta find this Bryce. Let him know the road's safe.
Okay. Playing a bit sloppy right now, not gonna lie. Alright. All of our consumables are gone. For now. Okay, so there is a pathway somewhere over here. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Let's go check this out real quick.
Price?
What's it to you, bearer?
Your friend asked me to get rid of the wolves. So I got rid of the wolves.
You'd have me believe a single bearer slew the entire pack. Then again, if you didn't, you wouldn't be on this side of the bridge. Bugger me, you're a tough one, aren't you? Oh, Frederick! You wily bastard. I'd never thought to pit beast against beast like that. You served us well, bearer. Be sure to pass our thanks, dear master.
Okay, so something else that I'm noticing right now. I understand why they're doing it, but I think they could have found a way around this. With the side questing and stuff, nobody ever acknowledges that you have companions with you, and like Jill isn't getting involved with any of these discussions, even though technically like she's supposedly our quote-unquote master as we're going through this area, and I kind of wish they would have built in some more interactions there. Because right now it feels like we picked up Jill, but then she has done nothing in the story so far. In other words, like they're treating her as if she's not even here, which most likely is because you can come back to this later when you may not have her as a party member at the time. But I don't know, I feel like they could have found a middle ground, right? Where like the character that you're most likely to have could have some interactions with the NPCs, but not necessarily every single character at every point in the game would need to have those same interactions. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just kind of noticing that Jill is not speaking at all during any of these interactions, and I really like Jill as a character, so that's kind of disappointing me. Just a small gripe, but the side quests in particular are the thing that's disappointing me the most right now with this game. That is otherwise just really, really fun to play.
Look, the windmills. That must be Eastpool.
Man, they didn't even stand a chance.
I remember coming here with Lord Murdoch when I was young. Rosaria seemed a very different place back then.
Okay, let's see if we can find any loot over here. Alright, we'll go down here to check this out. Might be for a side quest later, but I can't help myself.
Stay down.
Keep on missing with that one. Oh, hello.
Not this time. Keep your distance, boy.
There's a good boy.
Torgal! Not this time. Keep your distance, boy. Don't let them get away. A little help. My wounds, boy. Torgal. A little help. My wounds, boy.
Okay, got him. Ooh. Get a nice overview of where we just came from. I do love shit like that. Especially when the views are good. Okay, time to move forward. MSQ, here we go.
Drink up now, my darling.
Okay, another little town here. The Imperial Province of Rosaria, Eastpool.
Quiet, isn't it?
Yes.
You're Clive Rossfield.
Whoa. We don't really want people recognizing us.
Huh? It's me, Hannah, Rodney Murdoch's wife.
Oh,
Lady Hannah.
Oh, I knew it was you. You haven't changed at all. The Lord Marquis and Jill too. It's so good to see you both again.
It's good to see you too, Lady Hannah.
man, how crazy would that be? Hannah all of a sudden sees both Jill and Clive on the same day together. Ooh. Wife of Rodney Murdoch, Lord Commander of the Rosarian Army. Since her marriage, she has resided in the Murdoch Manor in Eastpool. Poor Rodney. Lord Commander of the Rosarian Army, outranked only by his firm friend Archduke Elwyn, Murdoch and his shields accompanied Elwyn and Joshua to Phoenix Gate to perform the rite of ancestral communion, only to be set upon first by Imperial infiltrators, then a second shadowy icon of fire, within whose flames Murdoch was engulfed.
If you have time, you simply must come back to the house. I haven't much to offer, but what is mine is yours.
We should be delighted.
And you have been wandering the world ever since. I can well understand fleeing from those iron blood brutes, but oh, to take to the road at such a tender age.
And marked a bear, too.
It wasn't easy, but we survived, and
And now we're back. It's wonderful to see you safe and well, Lady Hannah. Do you think you will stay here, in Eastpool? Rosalith still enjoys the Mother Crystal's blessing, does it not? You could always move.
This house holds a lot of memories for me. So long as I can live here in peace, here I shall stay.
So I didn't really think about it, but unless the Ironbloods have control of the Fire Crystal right now, the Empire has access to 2 crystals, because they're the ones holding Rosaria.
Not that it matters. The capital is closed to civilians, by order of the Duchess. Or should I say, Her Imperial Majesty.
Is that
Annabella's
Annabella?
marriage to the Emperor of
Ooh.
Sambrec heralded a great many changes here.
Ooh, she's a conniving monster. Former Duchess of Rosaria, now Empress of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. We did not know that until now.
Yes. Of course.
Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to...
Please. There is nothing to forgive. Would my mother not make an exception for you and your husband? Surely she would not refuse the Lord Commander.
You haven't heard, then. Rodney passed away on the night of the fire. He never returned from Phoenix Gate.
I'm sorry.
Clive.
My poor child. You look pale. All this traveling must have taken its toll. I insist you rest. We can talk later.
Are you sure you don't want to sleep inside?
I can't. Not after what I did.
Lady Hannah said she would prepare a change of clothes for you in the morning. She really has been very kind.
Years of killing. 13 years. Without the faintest glimmer of hope. It was only Joshua that kept me going. I swore that I would avenge his death. That I would kill his killer. That was the only thing that gave my life any meaning. But if it was me who killed Joshua and Murdoch and all the others, then why the hell am I still breathing?
I ask myself the same. When I fought, hundreds died. There were so many bodies, so many lives cut short in their prime. That day in Dalmekia, I wanted to join them. I wanted it all to end. I couldn't bear it anymore. If living meant being that, better to be just another body.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember that night on the balcony, when we looked up at the moon? I said a prayer to Metia, and that prayer was answered. You came back to me. The heavens must have a plan for us.
He didn't...
We should get some rest.
Oh, he fumbled the ball. Our boy Clive fumbled the ball. Shit. Clive. That was it right there. Oh, man. He fumbled it. Okay. So, Metia is the burning red star that sits beneath the moon. Folklore ascribes to Metia the role of message bearer to the moon, so it is common custom across Valisthea to wish upon the star, that one's heartfelt desires might be conveyed to the heavens and beyond. Okay. Oh.
Right.
Ooh.
Good night, Clive.
Maybe when he's in a better spot, you know? Like, he's in a weird place right now.
Sleep well.
He's in a rut of self-loathing. So, like, once he gets out of that, he's gonna kiss his girl Jill. Don't you worry.
Thank you, Lady Hannah.
This is where he gets his...
People will not flee at the sight of me.
You look just like Elwyn did when he was your age.
I was wondering when he was...
come to have some of my father's old clothes.
Oh, but
Yeah, I was wondering when he was going to get his red outfit, the one that you see in all the promotional materials. There we go.
before Elwyn became Archduke, our families would often summer together. He and Rodney were like brothers. These clothes have been in a wardrobe for years, collecting cobwebs along with everything else.
Well, I'm very grateful for them. And sorry for depriving you of your memories.
Not at all. It's what your father would have wanted.
They suit you well. Thank you, Lady Hannah.
Yes, thank you. You've been most kind.
No, I should thank you. It may only have been for a short while, but seeing you again took me back to happier times. Fare you well, my lord and lady.
And you, Lady Hannah.
Now, do people know at what level Annabella
If we follow the road to the north,
betrayed
It
everybody?
should take us all the way to Phoenix Gate. Let's go.
I don't know if people do. Although I think we did read a lore entry about the betrayal, so maybe it is common knowledge. Okay, it is an upgrade. That's good. Yeah, I'm guessing everything is an upgrade. Alright, I like it. Alright, we haven't checked this in a while. Summon a tornado that slowly hunts down nearby enemies and upon ensnaring them inflicts multiple hits. Yeah, there's that, but I also kind of need to upgrade some of this stuff. Okay, we'll do that for now. Alright, the new getup is pretty damn cool, not gonna lie.
I fear that the old road to Phoenix Gate was lost to the Blight many years ago. Have care out there, both of you.
Get it, boy!
Man, I can't believe how hard he fumbled that ball with Jill last night. Poor guy is clearly in a bad state. He had that in the bag.
Wonder if Martha could spare us a few bushels.
Well, aren't you dressed up smart? Especially for a bearer. Proper little prince you look.
I think she's being condescending. Hi, puppy. How you doing, buddy? Okay.
Harvest's down again this year.
I think any vendors would have shown up on the map. So I don't think we have any vendors here. There's the loot we're looking for.
This harvest will see us through winter. Maybe. But it's not so January.
Oh, there's the vendor.
Where are you off to then? Or hasn't your master told you? Either way, I expect our humble village ain't your final destination. Not to say it didn't have its charms. Take that tower. Relic of the Fallen it is. Must have stood there 1,000 years. And in all that time, no one's ever been inside.
Oh, I'm gonna be going inside that.
Mysterious, eh?
Oh, hands down. That's a loaded gun right there. We're going inside that thing. I want to know more about the fall. Now that we talked to her about that, is there anything on that? No. Okay.
If you're buying, I'm selling.
Okay, I kind of doubt any of this stuff is going to be worth getting at the moment.
There you are. Ja. There you are.
Okay, we can sell all those.
Oh, well, you won't say no. This should make me a few gil. Oh, well, you won't say no.
Okay.
Safe travels.
You? Those are Elwyn's. By the flames. You're his firstborn. Clive Rosfield.
Ooh, I don't...
You're mistaken.
Yeah, too many people are recognizing us. This is bad.
Oh, you can't fool me, my lord. You're the very image of your father. And that would be true even if you weren't wearing his clothes.
The self-same garments Hannah was keeping for you, if I'm not mistaken. She always swore that she would never part with them until the day Elwyn's sons returned. And now that day has come. Why, you'll be able to take your bearers back as well.
Can you not see the...
My bearers?
Tattoo on my face? I am a bearer, bro. What do you want about?
Forgive me, Master Mayor. I was a child when last I came to Eastpool. I didn't recognize you.
Oh, I'd be surprised if you recognized anything at all. Much has changed since Rosaria fell to the Empire. Not least for the bearers, who once served her noble families. When the Ironbloods sacked Rosalith 13 years back, many who lost their masters fled here in search of sanctuary.
And never returned.
Aye. The plan was to send them home once we'd won back the capital. But then the Imperials arrived. Rosaria became a province of Sanbreque. The duchy was dissolved, and they no longer had any home to return to. Back in your father's day, any bearer who lost their master became a ward of the duchy. We'd hand them over to the sheriffs, and they'd be assigned a new position. But when we saw how the Empire treated their branded, we knew that wasn't an option. So they've been here ever since.
Now, we still need to see how the Dalmekians treat their bearers, but it seems like the Ironbloods have a lot of contempt for him, and the Empire has a lot of contempt for him. It feels like Rosaria in particular was probably one of the better places to be if you were a bearer.
And now you want to give them to me?
They're yours by right, Lord Rosfield. Bequeathed you by your late father. And they'd be better off serving you than hiding here. Indeed, many of them used to serve your house, and still considered the Rosfields their masters.
I'm no one's master. Not anymore. They wouldn't be safe with me.
I understand. You'll forgive an old man his fanciful notions.
Send him to
Been
Sid.
Daydreaming for too long. But still, I would ask a favor of you. A small mercy.
If it is within my power.
One of the bearers is an elderly fellow who still swears absolute loyalty to Archduke Elwyn. I don't ask that you take him into your service, only that you meet with him. Let him see that Elwyn's son still lives, and that he's as fine a man as his father ever was.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, my lord. He sits by the well most days, watching the people go about their business. If you could show him your face, I would be most grateful.
As fine a man as my father.
You're not so very different, you know. Especially dressed like that. Come on, let's go and meet that bearer.
And Jill likes what she sees.
You'll find the bearer I spoke of over by the well. Introduce yourself. It will mean a lot to him.
Now, they said elderly, so it's not going to be the guy that we met when we were a kid.
He's not here.
Well, I can't leave without meeting him. I've let the mayor down once already. It would be cruel to disappoint him again.
All right, let's ask around. Someone must have seen him.
Well now, unfamiliar faces. What brings you to Eastpool, travelers?
We're looking for an elderly bearer. You wouldn't happen to have seen him, would you?
Ah, you mean the old boy who always waits by the well?
Yes, that's him.
What business do you have with him, if you don't mind me asking? You're not from the capital too, are you?
We are, in a way.
Well then, it's a pleasure to meet a fellow Rosalithian. I was born and raised down Market Street. And never would have left if Archduke Elwyn had survived the fire. It wasn't the same when the Duchess took over, though. All the beatings, the evictions, the levies going up and up and up, even as the blight took half the harvest. Oh, listen to me, telling you what you already know. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't help you with your bearer either, though I doubt he'll have gone far. He comes here every day, almost as if he's waiting for something.
We'll keep asking around then. Thank you.
Good day, milady. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a bearer, an elderly fellow who used to serve the Rosfields. Have you seen him?
Ah, that old loon. No sign of him today. Funny, he's usually down by the well at this hour, cooking up his fantasy feasts.
I'm sorry?
Oh, he worked in the kitchens at Rosalith Castle back in the day. Still thinks he's there now. You'd often hear the poor fool chatting away to the Archduke. Living in a dream he is. But better there than here, I suppose. Can't imagine the Viceroy stopping to trade tales with a bearer. Can you?
No.
Anyway, you'll be round here somewhere. Doubt he has the puff to stray too far.
Thank you. We'll keep looking.
Hey, hold on a mo. Young Patrick, the chocobo keeper, might know where he is. He's taken the old bird under his wing, so to speak. He'll be in the stables. You should go and have a word with him.
Patrick the chocobo keeper. Thank you. We will.
I'm sorry, Jill. For making you do all this in my stead.
It can't be helped if we're to keep up the pretense. Come on, let's head for the stables.
Okay, so the old man doesn't quite have all of his faculties, huh?
Where the bloody hell's he got to?
Excuse me, but is something the matter?
It's this bearer I've been minding. I take my eyes off him for 1 minute and he disappears. He's not in his usual spot by the well, nor anywhere else in the village.
You must be Patrick.
I am, but...
And this bearer you're looking for, he's an elderly man who used to work in the Rosalith Castle kitchens, yes?
That's the fella. How'd you know all this? I've never seen you in Eastpool before, but you seem to know the place better than I do myself. Ah, so that's how it is. Well then, if you're acting under orders of the mayor, you're on about to help me find him. He's been losing what little sense he had left of late, saying the sheriffs are coming to collect him and that he needs to go back to the castle. I was supposed to watch over him, keep him out of trouble. But if he's walked out on us, there's not a lot I can do.
Understood. You keep searching here, we'll look for him outside.
Thank you. I'm in your debt.
I hope he hasn't wandered into trouble.
Let's just concentrate on finding him. Still no sign. Could he have straight even further.
Okay, is it taking us? Yep, up there. Okay. Like I said, some side quest is going to take us over here. Turns out it was MSQ. Question is, will there be something new to fight?
Look, there's someone over there.
It might be him. We should hurry. Company.
We can't lead them to the old man. They need to die.
Agreed.
Oh, this is gonna obliterate them.
Are you all right, my friend? Come on. Let's go home.
Your Grace, you came for me.
Oh, he thinks
I
I'm
waited for
Elwyn.
you so long, but you finally came.
I'm not who you think.
Clive.
Yes. Pray forgive my long delay.
It's nothing, Your Grace. I prayed to the Founder that you would come, and at long last, he answered. Will we be returning to the castle, then? There is still a place for me in the kitchens?
No, my friend. We will not be returning to the castle, not yet. I'm on a very important expedition, one which may take some time. Could you wait for me in Eastpool until my journey is complete? I will come back for you then. I promise.
So, I wonder how rare it is for somebody to actually get this old as a bear, considering what can happen to them if they overuse their powers. Like, in a lot of ways, they're probably lucky to get that old.
Of course, Your Grace. For you, I would gladly wait until my dying day.
Thank you, both of you. You've been most kind. The memory of serving the late Archduke was as one light in the darkness, and now that light burns a little more brightly. It's nothing but a fantasy, of course, but it's better than the truth of the matter. A damn sight better. The blight is on our doorstep. Our harvests are failing. The people are leaving in droves.
I feel like I need to read more about the blight, but that never seems to be a thing. I want it explained what it is exactly and when it started. It seems like it's been around for a while. Oh, I didn't realize that. Magic is unusable in the Deadlands? So a barren wastes bereft of ether, where no life stirs and magic is all but unusable. Here both earth and water are stained black, preventing any seed from quickening. In recent years the blight has spread ever more widely, displacing whole nations before it, driving once peaceable fauna to violent desperation, and leaving silent devastation in its wake. So I don't think it's like an actual disease. I think that this blight is basically a lack of magic, which magic in a lot of Final Fantasy, they're talking about ether, right? It's like the life force of life itself. So, interesting. Okay. So like magic is leaving the world is kind of what I'm understanding there. And with it, it's taking life with it.
Weren't for Lady Hannah selling half her worldly goods to provide for the few of us who stayed behind, we would long since have starved. We want to keep the bearers safe here, we really do. But unless a miracle happens, we won't be able to spare a crust of bread to share between them soon enough.
Is it really that bad?
So bad, I even petitioned the Imperial garrison to take them. But when they found out where they'd come from, they damn near spat in our faces. Ducal dogs, they called them. Enemies of the Empire.
I know a man named Sid, who would gladly give a home to any bearer in need of one.
Yep.
Leave this with me. As soon as I return from Phoenix Gate, I'll speak with him.
Thank you, my lord. Will you be passing through Eastpool on your way back? I should very much like to speak with you again, if you have the time, regarding the future of the village, and what might be done for Lady Hannah. After all, she's done for us.
Yes, of course. I'll be back anon.
Fare you well, my lord, my lady. I wish you a safe journey.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that nothing new popped up here, quest-wise. We move forward. Part of me kind of wants to see if we can upgrade any of this gear, but I don't feel like that's the priority right now. Ooh. It's looking a little bit...
Deadlands are aptly named.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were this close.
No wonder their crops are failing. The blight is leaching the ether from the soil. And when the last drop is drained, their fields will turn to this. No plants, no animals, no life.
And no monsters. I suppose that's one small mercy.
So, like, Eastpool is very, very close to this blight. So they're, like, in a lot of danger there, seems like. Now, what is
What's
this?
Another relic of the Fallen.
Oh, that's going to be some dungeon, isn't it? Is the tower above this? Yeah, actually it is that direction. I wonder if it's attached to it in some way. Okay, that's a loaded gun for later.
We won't be able to use any magic here.
Another thing to worry about. As if the absence of ether didn't cause enough problems.
Okay, so our...
Take away the lad's life force, and problems are all that's left.
So all we have is our standard attacks, huh? Like, I won't even be able to do my magic combo.
I can hardly imagine what this place used to look like before the blight took it.
I remember. It was beautiful. There
it is. Phoenix Gate. Where it all went wrong.
Come on, Clive. It's time to discover the truth.
Yeah, I want some answers. All right, and with that, we're going to end this episode. In the next one, we head back to Phoenix Gate. So we'll probably make a stop at the hideaway first, but after that, we'll go right into here. So is all of this blighted? This entire area? Looks like it. So it seems like we just ventured into it a little bit before turning back this direction. Well, all right. So let's go ahead and end the episode here. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. I'd like to give a very special shout out to my patron supporters, Darren York, ZTD, Knife Namaste, Kyle the Monarch, Andrew Smith, Chris Murphy, JW, Bracken, Quinless, Chris Smith, Vlado101, Andy Ford, The Blue Electric Cat, and Kyle Schluter. If you would also like to join this tier or any others, check out my memberships or my Patreon in the description down below.